Welcome to MD Helicopters. I'm Ryan Weeks, President and CEO, and what you see behind me is the 530N. It's the second in the series of upgrades that we're in the process of releasing over the next 9 to 12 months. This started life as a 520N. This upgrade involves the C30 engine upgrade. Unlike the Super Ds that get an airframe upgrade, including blades and tail, vertical, horizontal, this particular upgrade is really only the engine. So we switched from the Rolls-Royce C20 engine, which came factory in these units, to the Rolls-Royce C30 engine. So what does an operator get out of this upgrade? Mostly hot high performance, or improved hot high performance, I should say. A couple of data points. On a 45 degrees C day or 113 degrees F, this aircraft with the C30 engine in it is capable of operating Higgy operations at 1,100 feet pressure altitude higher than a 520N. At that same temperature, at sea level, the 530N is capable of carrying 290 pounds more than the 520N. Take the temperature down a little bit to 35 degrees C, or I think that's about 94 F. Between 2,500 and 5,000 feet pressure altitude, this aircraft can carry an extra 210 pounds of useful load. If you're not familiar with the Notar product, the way it works is there's a 13-bladed fan back here in the fuselage, and it throws ducted air down a hollow tail boom, and it exits the far end there via this directional outlet. So there are a couple of ways that you get control out of this, not only in the cone back there that turns, but also on the other side of this boom, there are slits that create what's called the Coanda effect. So this boom is effectively an airplane wing rotated 90 degrees. And roughly 60% of the directional force from the Notar system comes from the Coanda effect, and 40% or so comes from the rotating tail cone at the end. So let's talk a little bit about price. In terms of this kit, it's going to be priced very similarly to the Super D20Bs and Rs and Super D30. The kit itself for the upgrade, the STC, is in the neighborhood of $350,000 US list price, and that is with labor installed out the door. However, that does not take into account the resale value of the C20 core that will come out of this aircraft. So on average, you'll probably be able to get about $200,000 for that core. So that makes the upgrade for the kit itself, less the engine, in the neighborhood of about $150,000. Then comes the engine. Just like we're doing with the Super Ds, you can have this installed at service centers around the world, and you can go two routes with your engine. You can buy a new engine from MD. That will cost you in the neighborhood of about $800,000 US, bringing your total to $1,150,000. Subtract the $200,000 for your core, and you're just under $1 million at around $950,000. Or you can go with a reconditioned engine, which most will tell you can find on the open market for about $350,000. So $350 plus $350 gets you $700. Knock off $200 for your core, and you're right around $500,000 out the door. In terms of availability, we're looking at securing this STC around the November-December timeframe. At the same time, we are already working the Super D20R, and then we'll go through the same process. And we're hoping that we can get that STC complete and in hand before the end of the year also. At the same time, we're working the Super D30, the third in the series of the Super Ds. Those will be 4 of the 10 or so that we're coming out with over the next 6 to 8 months. See you next time when we talk about the Super D20R.